All right, we are live. We are live. I'm coming at you with five. Welcome to the ride, y'all. This is Gavin Reshaw presents. I hope all is well here. Uh, hope everyone is doing great, whoever you are, wherever you are. You guys are enjoying this day, although under the circumstances we're dealing with. It's disgusting. I know. But I hope all is well with you guys, and I hope you're all doing good. Just being safe right now, taking necessary precautions. Haven't left the house too much, just going to Walgreens and so forth. And I'm gonna have to do a video about this whole thing because I did see Nicki Minaj's comments about, I'm not Nicki Minaj, excuse me, Cardi B. They're all the same. Uh, no, but how she stated she didn't want any discrimination against Asians, then talking about how those coronavirus thing seems to be staged, and some people think that. I don't know about it all being staged, but the actors that she was referring to, uh, and I saw Idris Elba clap back at her from a separate video talking about a different subject, but I want to do this one because last on Sunday, if you guys remember, I did a review of the movie The Banker uh, with Anthony Mackie. I was about to say Calvin Mackie. Anthony Mackie and Samuel L. Jackson. And now I was going to do a review because I've had a chance to catch up on some movies being off from work. I looked at Self Made with Madam C.J. Walker. You know, the people who are not affected by this pandemic has to be Netflix and Hulu and Apple and Crackle, all of these other home streaming apps because everyone's watching out working. Although it may eventually be a problem because if people aren't working too much, they're not going to have any money to keep paying their bills. But unless they're working from home now, but I'm sure they're not affected because people can live stream, and I'm sure they've actually seen a jump in their ratings. In fact, um, what we're talking about today, um, self-made, inspired by the life of Madam C.J. Walker, is a web series that is on Netflix right now, currently, and that is actually at the top of their trending list. I think it has even surpassed the Tiger King movie docu series that's on there. I had talking about that movie, and I titled this edition "Self-Made or Self-Paid." My review of the Madam C.J. Walker movie. Now, to be abundantly clear before I begin, first off, let's see who we got in the chat room. We're trying to add people. Honestly, guys, I've said this before. I think YouTube and Facebook are on some BS because I've tried to share the link to this live stream. And one of the issues that I've had is that Facebook keeps flagging it for a violation of community standards. I don't know why they're doing it. They're flagging it as spam. They've done it several times, not just on this link, but I did even with my previous post that I did about the banker, they flagged it. So uh, I don't know what's going on with them. But anyone can hear me? All right. Hold on a second, guys. We're gonna try something. I'm gonna try and get this out to the different people. Hold on a second. Hello? I didn't mean to do that. Oh, hang in there. I'm trying to get this out right now, trying to get more people in. They've been Facebook has been messing with my Facebook's been messing with my shit for whatever reason. We getting the word out today. Nothing's gonna stop us. All right. Let's see who else we got. Anyone else in the chat? Who's here? Hold on, guys. Okay, we're gonna get started. I just put it out on Twitter, and I hate when they do this. So I'm gonna check this out. Okay, so I had a chance over the last 2 nights. We've been able to watch the story of uh, Self Made about Madam C.J. Walker, and in watching the story, a couple of things come to mind. First and foremost, uh, I thought positives. I thought that the set design was great, being that this was supposed to be set in the late 1800s to the early 1900s, basically at the turn of the 20th century. Um, I thought the acting by Octavia Spencer, I'm sorry about that, but the acting was pretty good. I thought Octavia Spencer was great. I thought Mayor Underwood was good. Garrett Morris played Blair Underwood's dad, who was Blair Underwood played Madam C.J. Walker's husband, and so forth. And they had Tiffany Haddish, and Tiffany seemed a little bit out of place because they were trying to use her for a comedic effect, playing Madam C.J. Walker's daughter. And I'm going to get into her character in a little bit more. Overall, and let me be clear, any criticism that I have is not criticism necessarily with Madam C.J. Walker per se or her family. I think that Madam C.J. Walker, we can learn a great deal about being persistent from this movie because the things that she obviously had to go through. Uh, and yet, along with black female, I know that she went through a lot, and she was persistent, and she perceived that she achieved, and she became a multimillionaire and so forth. Now, I respect that, and I respect that business acumen. What I looked at in the movie, though, however, uh, they, of course, really pushed two things. There was an issue, well, three really. They tried to drive the edge of colorism in it. Light skin versus dark skin. The actress Carmen Ajigo, she is a British Nigerian actress. You all know who I'm talking about. She was actually played Coretta Scott King in Boycott and Selma. She's the former wife of Jeffrey Wright, who played Dr. King in the movie Boycott. And it was Peoples Hernandez from Shaft. In the press, nigga, do process for a little bit more. Yeah, sorry, I always think of him when I see that. But yeah, he played Peoples. Yeah, he played that character real good. He's also Felix, the CIA spy in the James Bond films with Daniel Craig. And so played this millionaire. Her name was Addie. Let's see, I have it right here. I have all of their name. I have a list here of all the actors and actresses. Let's see. Yeah, and LeBron James produced this. So this was a LeBron James thing that he produced for Netflix. It was written by different writers, but Nicole Jefferson Asher, Janine Sherman Burroughs, L. Johnson wrote the script for these productions. There are four different episodes. Uh, of course, yeah, Carmen Egidio played a millionaire by the name of Annie, millionaire, and supposedly Madam C.J. Walker stole her formula in the movie. Uh, oh, excuse me, guys. Hold on one second. Hi, Miss J. Yes, ma'am. Understood. Could I give you a call right back? I'm in the middle of a meeting. Okay. All right. We'll do. Bye-bye. All right. So there's old friend. So Annie Malone, commercial and educational woman, and prominent in uh, the 20th century because she obviously was a businesswoman and an inventor, and she's portrayed as a mulatto in the movie by Carmen Egidio, who basically discovered Madam C.J. Walker. Now, they tried really, if you look at the film, and there are spoilers in this, they really pushed that colorism thing where we have light skin and dark skin in the movie. And Madam C.J. Walker, for the most part, and not trying to be disparaging, she had this homely appearance, whereas Carmen Egidio's character was this gorgeous, beautiful red bone. Now, there's beauty in all black, and they particularly dove right into this in the first episode. You know, when Madam C.J. Walker proposes some business ideas for Annie Marie, and she refuses it, and she talks about they don't want to see nothing like you or something like that, and basically talking about Madam C.J. Walker's appearance and so forth, being a dark-skinned woman. And unfortunately, in our community, we still deal with issues like that. Issues of colorism, issues with shade. Uh, we have had fights with people over light skin and dark skin. Movies like School Days, Spike Lee touched on it. Good or bad hair that they talked about. The jigaboos versus the wannabe jigabees. That's when a wannabe and a jigaboo get together. Right? No, that was actually in the movie School Days, where Spike did a little musical about good or bad hair. That was in '88. I remember seeing that. So, classic. So there was that element of that. The other thing they dealt with, and this gets back to the Tiffany Haddish character who played Layla. Her character is a closeted lesbian. I told you guys there's going to be spoilers. Now, there is, to my knowledge, and of course, being that this is in America, uh, I'm sorry, in the times that we live in where this stuff is being pushed, and you all know, I feel that there is strongly a gay agenda in Hollywood. So it's what most people deep down even know when you look at the images, the stories that are being pushed out now, why certain things are not are being certain things are just being pushed onto children out being taught in schools, on television and radio and music. And apparently, her character, they have her as a closeted lesbian. Now, of course, the movie says inspired, which means it's not totally true. And the issue that I have with these people, our heroes, our uh, those that have inspired us, is that they are always portrayed somehow in a negative, not so much in a negative light, but they say things that have no bearing on their life, things that have not even any merit, things that are false that they'll create. For instance, I talked about Spike Lee, and I love Spike Lee. I love what he's done with his movies. He was a pioneer in the film industry for blacks. He's continued to stand up for that. But I know in the movie Malcolm X, for instance, they had no mention of Muhammad Ali, no mention of Malcolm's sister being the one that introduced him to the Nation of Islam. They had it where his character Bane introduced Islam to Malcolm, and that wasn't true. Having Malcolm X's head in the toilet. Dick Gregory, God bless his soul, would even get on Spike Lee talking about him having Malcolm X in a zoot suit, putting his head in the toilet when he put too much lie in it, trying to get that perm. So there's no proof to my knowledge, and I understand that I guess, great granddaughter of Madam C.J. Walker was involved in this. Apparently, she, I guess, was part of the project, but I don't know what she found out and discovered. And she was married 3 times. John Robinson, a hotel waiter, Dr. Wiley Wilson in 1919, Dr. James Arthur Kennedy in 1926. She divorced him a few months before her death. Now, nowhere on here do they list her as a closeted lesbian. And I think because Tiffany Haddish is a comedian, loud and so forth, they picked her to do this, play this role. And no diss to her per se. I think that she's funny, although I think she's more loud at times than anything. Um, you know, and I do think they have her buffoon, you know, a few times, especially when she was out there with chicken in the purse, fried chicken in a purse. Global Awards, if I'm not mistaken, one of those award shows. I don't pay attention to that, but I'm not getting into Tiffany per se. I'm not trying to do that, but certainly they pushed this agenda on it. I'm like, well, how do we even know any of this happened? There's no proof of that, and maybe the family. I'm just saying they had no control over that because when they have these TV shows and they write these scripts, the writers are given a lot of leeway to come up and design whatever story they're going to write, which is why they say inspired. So I certainly think that they always are pushing that agenda to get it in somehow. And which brings me to the next point. There was the wedge of black men versus character actor was played by Roger Governor Smith. Apparently, he was portrayed, as being a staunch sexist. He did not like Madam C.J. Walker. He felt that her products uh, wasn't a fan of their products in the movie. Didn't help her. Now, what was interesting is that Booker T. Washington's wife actually gave money for Madam C.J. Walker to start her company. Uh, the other thing too is Madam C.J. Walker's husband, uh, who has an affair uh, with her employee. His character was Charles James Walker. Apparently, he was not a fan of her business. He was always portrayed as being antagonistic, and I'm sure that they had their problems, like most husband and wives do. Uh, with Madam C.J. Walker, if you look at her profile, very interesting. She is from Louisiana, born in Delta, Louisiana, on December 23rd, 1867, died May 25th, 1919, at 51 years old. She was married 3 times. They divorced in 1913. And so, let's see, reading further. But just in general, the character that Tiffany Haddish, because I'm getting back to the subject, the character that Blair Underwood played, he was the man along with himself, and even Tiffany Haddish's husband, who was in the show, he was portrayed uh, as a dummy, basically an incompetent son of a bitch that was doing stupid things. His character portrayed as a buffoon. He was incompetent, good for nothing. Madam C.J. Walker wanted nothing to do with him at all. She gave him menial jobs. He was basically the Fredo of the family, if that's the way to put it. He did menial stuff. I think his name was John. I think it's John Robinson was the character. So I noticed men in the movie were not particularly portrayed as smart individuals. Bill Bellamy is in the movie, which I thought he did a good job. He's only in there. He has a few lines in different scenes. He plays a a money runner and numbers runner, excuse me. In that regard, again, the acting was great, but I just didn't get with of course, they were pushing this black men don't think black women are shit agenda. That's the way I felt with it. And I didn't think a lot of it was historically accurate. Uh, you know, people may like the story. I'm sure a lot of women are going to like the movie because of what it represents. The fact that she was self-made, and a lot of people have been waiting to hear it, but I honestly couldn't get into it too much, like talking about it. I wouldn't give it best Netflix series out. I also encourage you to see it for historical purposes, although the word historical has an asterisk by it, because some things on it, uh, I believe, are not 100% accurate. Now, of course, people say, well, Gavin, no movie is 100% accurate. That's very true, but when you're taking self liberties with things, especially about uh, persons' love life, for instance, or we're talking about their business practices and so forth, or how they treat, you know, was directed by Cassie Lemons, and of course Cassie Lemons and Demaine Davis. Now, of course, you may know Cassie Lemons because she directed the Harriet movie, and of course, Harriet was in a lot of controversy because of that whole thing with the having a non-black American actress play the pioneer, the freedom fighter that Harriet Tubman was, who was an American. There was no black female American actor play that role in Hollywood, but a lot of us thought otherwise. We thought otherwise that there should have been. Now, I haven't seen the movie. I'm not going to say the sister wasn't good. So, but a lot of people didn't like it and the message that it carried in the movie. I saw criticism with that. Uh, but you guys, please, if you want, check out the video. If you disagree with it, tell me what you think in the movie about the movie. If you see it, please subscribe to this channel, GBoo2786. Please donate if you can to Cash App, Google Pay, and PayPal. We have those links in the description box, guys. Overall, um, I would say again, see the movie, but with a grain of salt. Take it for what it's worth as entertainment. If you see it that way, uh, I thought overall, I'm not gonna say it was the worst thing that I ever saw. It wasn't like that, but I wasn't overly thrilled with it. I did think that the banker was pretty good, but you guys feel free to disagree with me. I'll holler. Type something in the chat box. Peace out.